You're listening to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, episode number 54. Welcome to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, a show anchored in reality to help you create a balanced life where you enjoy both your work and your life, because you don't have to choose. I am your host, Cecile Ferry, a corporate executive turned coach and working mom. This is your place for insights, advice, and tools to optimize your career direction, balance, and confidence. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are going super great this week. I hope February started well for you. You've got plenty of energy, and wherever you are in the world, you are looking after yourself and still going into this year with such a really clear focus on yourself and what you want this year to bring to you. And that is actually a perfect segue to today's episode, where I wanted to talk specifically about life coaching. So today the conversation will be around the life side of the career plus life equation. I want to tell you more about it. What is it? What do we do in life coaching? Who needs it? Who it's for? What does it achieve? But I know, speaking from an Australian point of view, life coaching is still pretty new in this country. And I would imagine a lot of you don't know a lot about it. And that's why I wanted to use this platform as a means to educate all of you about the benefits and the concrete process that is involved with life coaching. And it's actually the perfect timing I find in the year. In February, as I'm recording this, life is back on, and I always find this is such a good time because we still have so much clarity coming from the start of the year, but we haven't yet got back into too much routine and same, and being sucked up by all the kind of activities that come back and pretty much, ordinary life. That can actually just make us tick along and lose sight of the deeper aspirations that we have for our life. So I really wanted to get that episode in now, nice and early into the year, because I want you to really focus on you right now. If you haven't already done so, planning your goals, thinking about your year. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be comes the end of the year? There is no better topic to talk about today. As background, because you'll be wondering, why is she talking about life coaching? Maybe you know me more as a career coach, and that's how I started. Pretty much when I even started out with the clients that I had, maybe the first 6 to 12 months, I realized in my coaching practice how I could never treat career in isolation. And that is why I call this podcast the Career Plus Life Catch-Up. And which is even more true these days now after the pandemic, where most of us are now working from home. So our lives have never been that close to our careers. And our careers are all evolving, as we know, to better fit our life. So whilst I was doing a lot of career coaching, I was regularly helping my clients on the life side as well. And to be honest, it's, I think, completely silly to expect us to separate the two. And that, I think, needs to go. Seriously. It's like the institution of work that we erected in the past, that was this big thing, and we had to kind of sacrifice or keep separate from our lives. And thank goodness, in the world that I'm recording this into in 2022, we are in a different place where now we thankfully acknowledge that we also have lives and we can be at work and people can see what else is going on with us. And there is more acceptance, there is more integration, not always as much balance probably as we need to. But we're working on that, and there is more respect and a better understanding that we all are holistic people and we're not just who we are at work. So initially I focused on career coaching and I really grew my expertise really strongly there. But at the same time, then a lot of things happened in my own life. So I started with my career change after my burnout, and that's what led me to career coaching. And if you're new to me and you're listening maybe for the first time today, you can go and And check out, I've done a lot of episodes, I'll put them in the show notes on the career change process and what I went through myself. But after I did that and I was doing career coaching, my own personal life continued to evolve, right? As it is for all of us. And lots of other areas started to change. And as it often is the case, like you change one area of your life, like career, and it has a ripple effect on other things. So I changed my health, I changed my balance, my relationships. I did a lot of change on the friendship side, but also my main relationship, and I covered that in episode 19. I also became a single mother. I also developed a very strong focus on parenting after that, and also did a lot of healing for myself and changing a lot of my past patterns. I also grew into my spirituality. I addressed a lot of things in my finances. So you can see all areas of my life have been evolving for the better and changing and being upgraded in the last 4 years. So it was natural for me to evolve in my business and to start offering life coaching, which I did last year. And I really want to continue growing that side of what I do in 2022 because, as I've just explained, I have learned so much on my own journey that I can share with people all around the world. And I want them to also experience the massive benefits of all of those changes. And I know how hard it can be and how it's so helpful to have someone walking by your side. And with COVID, it's so obvious that the pandemic has really pushed a lot of edges across many, many areas of our life. And I've spoken about that regularly on this podcast. All of us, to some extent and in different areas, have felt discomfort. We have reassessed, we have questioned, we have re-examined, we started getting new perspectives. Some of us have all the way to making some decent changes, right? All towards better for us. It's a bit like COVID was the uninvited life coach, if you like. Look at your life too. In the last 2 years, have you felt that? Have you started to look consciously at the different parts of your life that maybe before you had not really looked into? So wherever you're at in terms of your life, let me share with you today some of the basic foundation of life coaching. So see it as a life coaching one-on-one, just so you can see how you react to it and whether that is something that maybe resonates well with you. And if it does, just go into the show notes now or just wait until the end of the episode. I will talk to you about my current life coaching offer. So now that I have set the scene as an introduction about life coaching and why I'm here to talk to you about it, let's get into it. First of all, who is it for? My answer is super clear. Everybody. If you have a life, you need life coaching. Period. Because life coaching is there to help in any areas of our life, or all of them if we need. So unless you're sitting here right now, and if I ask you honestly to rate your satisfaction across various areas of your life, and you told me top marks on all of them, in which case, super well done. You don't need to be here in a way. You probably need life coaching. We all do, because our lives are never great in all areas, have you noticed? And we are human beings and human evolvings, and we are always on a journey of growth anyway, whether we like it or not. Some of us are more driven than others, but we are always naturally led to change things in our lives. And most of the time too, it's not just us leading the change, have you noticed? It's life circumstances that are gently or sometimes not so gently pushing us to make those changes. So it's for everybody. It doesn't matter your age, your life stage, your gender, your cultural background. It does not matter. We all need it. I dream of a world where it is so normalized and we all have life coaches for whatever we need at that specific point of our life. Why is that not the case right now? I think first of all, it's because it's quite unknown for a lot of people. I'm talking even just globally. People don't really know what it is and what it's like. And there is a bit of that lack of information makes people think it's a very niche thing, maybe sometimes a nice little sexy thing, like, oh, you have a life coach. Oh, that sounds interesting. But I think fast forward in about 20 years, we'll be looking at it very differently. And I know if you're in the US, it's very different. Like, it's so common. It's nearly like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, of course you need a life coach, right? Also, I think there is a stigma where, like other forms of therapy, for instance, but the same applies to coaching. There's a stigma of our culture where if we go and seek some kind of guidance or help, it means that somewhere we are imperfect and we're not doing really well, maybe all the way to underperform. So we're not comfortable with that. And we're afraid of people's opinion of us if we ever said that we were going to see a life coach. And I really think that stigma and the perspective needs to go because it's just so wrong and so unhelpful. And it's just not even protecting us from anything. It's preventing us from evolving, growing, and transforming our lives the way that we need to. And also, there are so many life coaches out there, and there's all sorts of them, and there are no barriers to entry. So literally, if you're listening to this, you can call yourself a life coach tomorrow and start coaching people. So I understand from that point of view, you need to be really careful. And I'll always recommend that you look into life coaches who are certified, who are qualified, and have real testimonials of people that they've helped and delivered results to. So who is a life coach? In essence, it's someone who is going to listen to you. And look around in your life. How many people are actually really listening to you? Are there for you, can park the agenda, and are fully present to listen to you. They make space uniquely for you, and they create that safe environment, that safe space where you can be yourself, you can speak, you can talk about what's really going on inside of you and what it is that you want without fearing any kind of reaction or judgment from other people. They have your own back, which can be quite different from friends or family who mean well, but always have their own agendas attached. How often do they project what's going on with them or their own belief system onto the situation? And frankly, how helpful is it? Not that often. So a life coach will be fully there in your corner with full objectivity. And it's also a person who will guide you to see things which you can't see yourself. And that is the whole power of a coach. It's showing you those blind spots or showing you other things that right now you don't quite see yourself just because you think the way that you think every day, as we all do. And that is the power of having a coach. So as a person, everything I've described here is the same with any kind of coaching that you do, whether you do career coaching or life coaching, for instance. But with life coaching, the scope of the coaching is much, much broader. It's encompassing potentially all areas of your life. So a life coach is very much a generalist, if you like, unless they specialize in one area. And in that case, they usually call themselves something else, like a weight loss coach, a divorce coach, a relationship coach, right? But if they call themselves a life coach, they should be able to help you across all areas of your life. And it's possible because it's about the coaching skills and it's about building that relationship and seeing the potential in the other person and helping them see things in a different way with a different perspective. So if they're properly trained and qualified, they can coach you on any parts of your life. It's of course, a massive bonus and recommended when they have skin in the game, when they have been through the same situation that you've been through, because then the level of insights that you will get will be so much deeper and you'll make progress much faster. I myself have used life coaching on and off for probably the last 4 years, and that is not finished. At times I have needed more business coaching, which is what I'm doing at the moment. At other times I have also used more psychotherapy, and I've actually done an episode that I will link in the show notes on the difference between coaching and therapy, because it is different, so that you can assess based on what you need right now, what is the best fit for you. And just stay tuned. A bit later in today's podcast, I'll talk to you about my own experience with life coaching and what results I got. Okay, now we have spoken about the who of life coaching. Let's talk about the what now. What is it and how does it concretely work? And I say concretely because it shall not be fluffy. And if it is, it's not life coaching. When done properly, there's a process, there's a clear goal, and there are results. So when it comes to the goal, because when you work with a coach, that's the first thing. That's the first thing I will be asking is, what do you want to work on? Like, what brings you here? What are you trying to achieve? That usually, maybe you've been trying to achieve on your own for a while, but you can't. So you're seeking the guidance, and a coach will do that. So that goal, there are usually two possibilities. You either know it yourself, and because you've tried, for instance, and it's been always an area that you've wanted to do something about, or you've been putting on the back burner for long enough, and you're like, now I really want something to change this year about it. So it comes from you, or you may have several goals, or a lot of goals maybe, or even like not being quite sure what to start with or how to go about it, but you do know that you want to work on your life and you want to improve your quality of life overall. So and that's where I was talking about everybody. We're kind of all in this situation. So you may not have been thinking clearly enough yet, and you need the help doing just that, thinking about your life holistically. What's working, what's not, where do you want to work on? And that's typically an exercise I do with some of my life coaching clients. That is the formula. If you look after each of those areas and you maximize them, you will feel amazing every single day. And that is what I love doing as a life coach. It doesn't matter whether you're clear or you're not clear exactly what you want to work on, especially the priorities. If you have several things, just come to coaching, because we will land on the priorities for you and we have very established goals. So once you have the goal, what happens? And I'm going to talk here in pretty general terms because it can apply to so many situations, and I want you to maybe project it as if it was your own, but I'll give you more specific examples afterwards. So we start with the situation, like what's happening right now. What's happening, what is maybe not happening, what is not working, what is that creating as an impact. So we really understand the landscape of right now. How deep is this? What is it affecting? And what already you've tried doing, that sort of thing. So that's the first point. And then we try to really understand the why. So I'll be asking you a lot of questions, and we dig to the next level down, and maybe the next level down, and maybe the next one, based on what we find, so that you will understand why you are where you are, or maybe why things you've tried are not working, or why you're not motivated, or you're not energized, why you think you can't. Like all of those things will be super clear for you. So that's the first step. Then we will identify blocks or limiting beliefs or things to change in order to have a different situation. So there's no coaching without, in a way, some kind of discomfort, but at least some kind of awareness coming to the surface of what is interfering, because otherwise you will be there at your goal. So we need to get through to that and potentially change some ways of thinking or perspectives in order for you to feel freer, to see new options, which is the next step. Then we start looking at actual change. What options, new possibilities, we open up the thinking, and that is a beautiful phase of the coaching that is really enjoyable. And then we follow that up, of course, with a concrete action plan and some accountability to make it happen. Coaching and life coaching creates a shift for you. It brings a different look on your life. And also, all of that process is informed along the way by your unique strength, your values, and your personality style. Because that is such a critical lens on everything that's happening to you and what you want and how you're going to get it going forward. So you need to lean on those things that are very you in order to get the right energy and design the right actions to move forward. So it's a super concrete process, right? And with the right person, you will get concrete outcomes that will change your life. Let me give you some examples of what you could be working on. You could be changing the way that you manage your time to feel less stress, or to make space for something that you want, or to rebalance if you feel like the ratios and the balance is off, or to have more freedom. So there's a lot of options around time management. You could also change some relationship dynamics, whether it's relationship with friends. You may have some conflicts or some dissonance, or not enough friends, or not the right type, or you may have issues with boundaries with them. Or it could be a relationship with partners, whether it's communication, your expectations, having your needs met in the relationship, even understanding your own needs, how to also better your relationship with them. It's different from marriage counseling or couple therapy, as in when you do couple therapy, it's very much with the perspective of helping both people, like you need to both want it, and the therapist will not take one side. They should never. Whilst here in life coaching, it's all for you, and it's all for the best for you, and it will help you see what is it that is really important to you, what is not working, and how to ask for that, and what is the right way to manage that particular relationship. Other ways you can use life coaching is to work on your well-being and energy. That is really big. Whether it's about simplifying your life so you have more time and energy, removing drainers of that energy, decluttering habits that are not working for you, and establishing new ones that are serving you. Also looking after having better physical health. Other examples are working on your life vision. It's super important, and some people need help with that process with, what do I want my life to look like 5 years from now? It doesn't have to be specific, but to have a vision is so powerful. And doing that work with a life coach will help you not only set the landscape, if you like, the horizon, but also therefore help you map the journey between where you are to there to get you on the way. And that could include things that are on your bucket list, for instance. Other things are your passions and hobbies, how to have more fun into your life. Also, how to sort out your finances, or the way you think and feel about your finances, very important. Or anything to do with your personal environment, whether it's at home, at work, that upgrading that personal environment so you feel at your best. See, these are just some of the examples of what we can be working on, and they all lead to the same outcome of you living your life like you are being your true self, and you are getting massive satisfaction. At the end of the day, what life coaching does, it gives you a positive feeling. Whether it's joy, whether it's calm, inner peace, freedom, in all of those areas of your life. So let me just finish up with the tools that I use as a life coach, and then I'll talk about my personal experiences. I'm only going to give you some tools, but just know that I improvise a lot depending on the situation, and I use a mix of different tools, whatever comes to me, based on your particular situation and what is needed. We lean on your values, like being really clear. And we do that exercise up front, which is already valuable for you, even before you've actually done any coaching, is understanding your life values and your priorities. We also look at where you are self-sabotaging, and I will help you see those aspects so that you can move past that and you can actually get to the goal that you want. We do some time tracking and time mapping of the ideal journey for you, of the ideal week, month for you. We do well-being audits and energy management plans. We look at the beliefs that you have about yourself. That is a big one. We look at what you can influence versus what you cannot control. So we look at your zone of control versus your zone of influence. So we can really use that lens to understand where you didn't think that you had influence, but you actually do. And vice versa, where you're really trying to change something that you have no control over. So how to live with that, how to accept that, and what else can you influence? We look at your story of your life so far, which is super interesting work to do because it helps you identify patterns or getting to know yourself better, which is my last point. That self-introspection through journaling questions, through that story of your life is so powerful in life coaching because you really get to understand yourself on a deeper level, who you are, when you are at your best. I mean, when do you do that work otherwise? Nobody really, they don't teach you that at school. You never have time to do that yourself. Your partners never know you to that level. So it's really up to you to do that work. So now let me finish off with some concrete example. As I said to you, I've been using life coaching for the last 4 years. So what has this achieved for me? The first one is that it has taught me how to plan my weeks and to manage my mental load across my job, my business, my home, and my personal time. So I now have a process and I use it every single week. It's become really automatic. But it started through life coaching and I followed the steps and I had to work on some procrastination that I had and on some perfectionism that I had and also on learning how to prioritize properly. Another one is in organizing my home, my space, and decluttering. Super useful. Again, that's something that I keep and I do now without thinking regularly every sort of 6 to 12 months. I've used it to work on eating less and being mindful of what I eat, resisting my urges, also drinking less. I've used it to be super clear on my values and to live them each week. I was kind of doing it a little bit ad hoc, but it really brought that back to the foreground for me. And it's so embedded now and anchored in me that I always make sure I have activities every single week that align with my values. And I make them my number one priority on my calendar. It's helped me with changing the way I organize my finances and even looking things like how I spend my money, what expenses I feel good about and those I don't. And also it's helped me clearing my debt and I've been debt-free now for a couple of years. It has also helped me to put boundaries with people and specifically identify when things were a no for me. And then therefore how to say it and to apply that into my life. It's helped me becoming aware of my emotions, feeling them and managing them instead of covering them up, using food, alcohol or shopping. So that emotional balance, which I haven't mastered, let's be honest, but I've made such huge progress and I'm constantly upgrading and I'm constantly still growing in that area. But life coaching just helped me starting from scratch, literally in emotional management. Also, it has helped me with being okay and feeling good living on my own. It helped me to get things done. I have now tools and ways of thinking when I have a really big complex project and I just automatically apply those. It helped me how to navigate differences in relationship with my partner at the time. So we had specific conversations around money, around holiday plans. I remember having like life coaching exactly helping me being clear on what it is that I wanted and how I could get that and change a lot of my perceptions about my partner in that regard. And also, final example is how to change my thoughts about myself. So how I see myself, how I think of myself, that sort of self-talk about yourself that is so ingrained you don't even notice it's there. And it has helped me, therefore, also look at other things I had achieved in my life that I just put to the side, and because we most of the time focus on the negative, but so it helped me highlight all the great things that I had done and that I was doing, and the great things that people saw in me, and have that more present to my mind in order to show up differently every day. So there you go, plenty of concrete examples. And as I said, I'm never finished and I'm working on those, but I am so glad I found life coaching, and it has literally changed my life. So that's all I wanted to share with you, my friends, today about life coaching. I hope that you've learned new things and maybe it has opened up some new perspectives or thinking for you. This is so important, and that's why I'm here recording this. We all have one life, and it goes rather fast. I'm sure you would agree. So what project could be more worthwhile for you than that? It's just we've never taught to manage our life, to think about our life along those lines, and we tend to outsource our life fulfillment to external things like our jobs, our partners, our financial or material situation. And we know after a while that those things are pretty bad at bringing us fulfillment, especially on a consistent level, right? So it comes from us in getting to know us and in looking for that and designing our life in a way that works for us. So nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to help you unless you start first and you get clear on what you desire and what really, really matters to you. How do you want to spend your life? Do you want to spend it being overloaded, overworking, overstressed, maybe overtired, discontent, waiting for something new, something else to change, or waiting for more, or being at the mercy of other people's agenda? Or do you want a life that is simplified so that you actually have the time, space, and energy to do things you really enjoy? A life where you have clarity on what you want out of life and clarity on your purpose. A life where you are energized every day, where you have a sense of peace and freedom and even excitement about what's to come. See those two options? And I know for some of us, it really feels like this would tip things completely upside down. And it's not your fault. That's the culture we live in. We live in a culture of lack, a culture of dissatisfaction, worry, stress, anxiety, or we feel like we can't, because that's the collective and has been for a long time. We tend to look at life in that sometimes powerlessness or helplessness position, or the way to being a bit of a victim, and we kind of just accept it and we just rub along and we hope for better things, or sometimes we make new resolution and new goals and we kind of hope and then nothing really changes, and then we just try to find satisfaction with small bits and pieces here or there, right? A lot of us live our life that way, but it doesn't have to be that way. There is definitely a completely different outlook on life. And you won't change it overnight, but just as long as you start somewhere and you can move over time gradually to clarity, to motivation, to optimism, to accountability. And I'll tell you what, people, once you start this, you're going to like it. And you're going to see how powerful you are. That will also grow your confidence. And then you will be tackling one area of your life after the next and after the next, and you will be full on unstoppable. So that's what life coaching can do for you. So if that sounds like something that you're ready for and you've been listening to me today saying, yes, I need this, then go onto my website. I'll put the link in the show note. It's at careercatchup.com/lifecoaching and read on. And it's super simple. I have one offer of 6 sessions. You can pay even monthly. It is really affordable because I want to help. So go on it now. I don't know how long I will leave that really good price offer on. So don't wait. Why would you wait? And you can organize your 6 sessions based on your schedule. And on top of the 6 sessions, so when you sign up, you will get an onboarding kit from me that will include tests that I've mentioned today around your values, around your personality style and your strength, and also a lot of those journaling prompts that help already starting the process that I have covered today. And then you get 6 full 1-hour sessions one-on-one with me. So go now at careercatchup.com/lifecoaching, read on, and if that sounds right for you, get yourself signed up. And I look forward to working with you soon. So if you enjoyed this episode and you're also thinking of a friend, a sister, a relative, or colleague who needs some life coaching because they're talking to you a lot. They might be chewing your ear about things and they're not doing much about it, or they don't know who to turn to. Send this podcast across to them, share it with them so they can learn about it too and see if it's right for them. Let me just finish by saying, wherever you're at in the world, you deserve this. You deserve an awesome life. It's your birthright. It's possible. And you can have it. And you should have it. So make this the year where you move towards that. Claim it for yourself. Don't wait. Just step up and go, yes, it's my time. I want this too for myself. And start getting into the driver's seat. And things will get so much easier from there on. You will get guided. You will make leaps and bounds. And you end the year being so proud and so happy about it. Imagine getting to that point and what it will do for you, what it will change for you, how you would feel when you get up in the morning. And that is what's on offer, my friend. So I really hope this gave you massive inspiration to look into it and to better your life in 2022. I've got your back. I'm here. You can contact me if you need anything. And I wish you all an absolutely great month of February and a gorgeous week ahead. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to find out more information, you can visit my website at careercatchup.com. There you will find blog articles, free resources, a self-study course for your career direction, and ways to work with me. It's at careercatchup.com. I hope to continue to connect with you and support you. Talk to you soon.